Hey guys, welcome back to Double Thrill. Today we're going to be taking a quick look at, well, I say a quick look, I hope it'll be quick, but this is a pretty deep game, so this is probably going to go on for quite a while. There's quite a lot to show here, but this is Pillars of Eternity, the long-awaited, highly anticipated from quite a lot of people, myself included, RPG from Obsidian that was, of course, kickstarted. If you're not familiar with that, go check that out, because that was a pretty cool Kickstarter. That was like, if you want an idea of how to do Kickstarters right, you should probably look at theirs. They raised $4 million in, I'm not sure how long it ran for, but almost 77,000, I want to say, backers backed the game by the end of it. So obviously quite a lot of interest here, and we'll just get into it because there's a lot to talk about. For the purpose of this video, I'll just go on easy because I'll be doing a lot of talking, so won't be able to concentrate and stuff. But we'll jump into a new game, show off the early stuff, the character creation and stuff like that, and then we'll jump into my later save where I will show off some of the other stuff going on, some of the later game stuff. I'm about 10 hours in, I'd say. I've heard that this game is incredibly long. I've heard anywhere between 60 to 80 hours apparently if you do most of the side quests. So there is a lot to do in this game, and it seems like there's a decent amount of replay value, between the different classes you can make, and there's loads of choices you can make. There's a ton of companions that you can pick up or not pick up, and so there is, as with a lot of these games, there's a lot of these like early Baldur's Gate, Planetscape Torment, Icewind Dale, whatever you want to actually reference. They have a lot of replay value, as does this. Alright, so we'll just skip this. You get some setup. Basically, we're in a convoy and we crash, basically, is all you need to know for this. So okay. So as I said, I should probably warn you, this is an extremely deep game, extremely complicated, game, very intense. There's a lot to it. It's very deep, but it's also very rewarding if you can get into it. So I did mention, Baldur's Gate, Planetscape Torment, all those games, whatever those Infinity Engine games or whatever. So hang on, they're all the same. So we'll just So just like those games, this game is hell of D&D. If you're not familiar with Dungeons and Dragons and the various systems, ideas, mechanics, or whatever involved in all of that, then a lot of this is going to be very alien to you. I've never actually played D&D properly on a tabletop. Always wanted to. We'll probably get around to it eventually. Actually, that might be some sort of feature that we'll do. We'll be able to stream it or something. But I've always wanted to do that. But I've dabbled in this and that. We'll make a paladin, actually, I think. Yeah, we'll make a paladin. I've dabbled in this and that, played a bit of Baldur's Gate and those old stuff. Never finished any of them, never got particularly deep in any of them, but I definitely, definitely played quite a lot of them, and definitely enjoyed a lot of them from what I played. Full attack, we'll do Flames of Devotion. Okay, highly recommended for a paladin. We'll get that to 15, we'll get that to 14. Resolve. Absolutely need resolve. So you see, this kind of thing would be incredibly perplexing, incredibly confusing, just intimidating all around if you weren't familiar with D&D and that sort of stuff, because you've got all these stats. You've got might, which is your equivalent to strength. You've got constitution, dexterity. You've got all these things, and it gives you a detailed rundown of what all this stuff is. But you got to know what will is. It'll tell you it's like mentally based attacks and the defense to those. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of like stats and numbers and percentages, and they expect you to know what you're getting yourself in for. They expect you to know about all this. I should warn you that they don't hold your hand at all with this stuff. So if you, like I said, if you're not familiar with this stuff, then you're gonna have some trouble. Honestly, you're gonna struggle, I think. But you know, we'll get into that, some of that stuff in a bit as we get. Let's be stoic. Roger, let's talk. Sure, why not? We'll get into that stuff later when we get past this opening sequence, but I'm not going to say it's impenetrable for people who are new to this kind of game, but it'd be very difficult to get into. So. Yeah, they will. Okay. Okay, so basically I've got some bit of a disease, bit of a fungus growing on my something, God knows what, my foot I'm gonna say for now. So we're gonna go find some berries. So just quickly go over the UI. We'll minimize this stuff for now. On the lower left, you've got your party. This can extend up to 6 members, as far as I'm aware. At least not dubbed up. At least until where I am. We only have 2 at the moment, obviously. And we'll talk about combat stuff in a bit. But you've got this UI which has all sorts of commands. You know, attack, cancel, select, formations of which you can actually. You've got the full ones, but actually, a really cool thing is you can create your own formations. Like, obviously, we only have 2 people, but you can create custom formations and kind of do anything. I had like a sort of T shape where, you know, I had strong melee attackers with good defense at the front, and then rangers and casters and healers and stuff in the back. So that's just really cool. You've also got camping, which we'll get into in a bit. You know, there's a stealth option so you can scout around. And there's some other stuff over there. And there's a very detailed combat log over here that you should. It's important to pay attention to, but when you're in combat, you'll see it. It's just like fucking blazing past. You can't even get a word in edgewise. So, and there's a word log. So we'll talk to this guy. So a lot of this storytelling stuff and a lot of the interaction with characters is kind of broken down into 3 sections. It's like this non-verbal descriptive stuff where it's the game, you know. Almost as if it was a novel or something. It's describing something, but no one's actually saying anything. It's kind of your perspective on things, I guess. And that's intertwined with all the rest of the stuff. So you've got like voice stuff, which there is quite a lot of, considering you know, in the old school games there was none. So it's kind of a surprise to have so much, and it's all very well done. It's all good, but then there is also like non-voice dialogue. So no, we're right, I think. You better. Okay. So there is kind of, like a lot of these games, there's like I'd say like an hour plus long intro to get through before you get into the meat of the game, but there's a lot of story to set up, so I'm only going to do this first bit. I'm not going to get into the story stuff, So combat is kind of, it's like pseudo turn-based. You'll see that once someone's attacked, this little bar fills, and then, you know, when it depletes, that is when their next attack comes. But you can also pause, as you can see. I can constantly pause and move stuff around, you know, so just like those old Baldur's Gate stuff. Okay. I can also hold tab, which is a very useful thing to highlight stuff in the environment. Which is kind of a weird thing because it's so useful that you kind of want to have it on all time. So I do kind of wish that there was like a toggle to have it on all time, but because you're basically using it 100% of the time anyway. So I'll just give some exposition about why we had the disease or whatever. So hard offer to pass up. I'm going to start a new life, blah, blah, blah. This is just not too important. It's just exposition, I guess. Okay, Wolfhide, we can sell that later. So you can play the game at this normal speed, and there is also slow motion, basically. This is all toggle or a fast mode. I generally, you can't, or I should say, you can go into any of these modes during combat as well, but when you go into combat, it defaults to like normal speed. So I generally like to use fast mode when I'm exploring, just because it can get really tedious just waiting for people to run around and stuff. But I generally do combat in like real time or whatever. So got some gear. Okay. Okay, how's it going, guys? Let's go look for him. That guy we talked to, he probably wandered off. Ah, he's not there. Spooky town. Yeah, we'll just quickly race. I don't want to show too much because there's a ton of exposition coming up soon. Also, you get this stuff. You get this. This is like a sort of extra layer of storytelling stuff that you occasionally get. It's often intertwined with puzzles and stuff, and it's kind of cool. There's a lot of really cool art that they do with this. Out of the trees emerges Spotfill. What are the guys? Oh no! He's far from alright. Who could have done it? Could it be these shady characters? Okay, so we'll divide our attention that way. So you've got your auto attack, obviously, and then you'll see that every character has abilities that they can use. As far as why you can't hotkey them, but you do get a lot of these. So you just sort of click on them and then they'll do it. You know, I can order her to. Oh, no, I can order her to use knockdown on him, just like I can order him to use Flames of Devotion on him. And you'll also see that I've now run out of that, and that's because, as you'll see up there, a lot of these spells are based on encounters. So, this spell can only be used once per encounter, and then it'll reset after the fight is over. So, it's important to sort of it's important to know that your spells are limited, but they reset after every fight. So it's important. It's not important, but it's probably worth noting that you can kind of throw them out willy nilly in fights, because they will recharge, but you do want to be careful, especially when it's healing spells and stuff, that you don't waste them or whatever. So, and obviously a lot of these are like either offensive or defensive healing spells. They provide buffs, so there's a number of things. Obviously it depends on what class people are as well. So, oh no, these guys look great. And you'll also see that, you have all these sort of conversation options that will basically shift the tone of the conversation. And obviously, much like these games, you have a set of core stats, secondary and primary, that will affect conversation options. So because I have a point in law, I can say, the rune has not been sullied. Just like, that applies to everything as well, not just secondary stats. There are a bunch of secondary stats like stealth, law, survival, stuff like that. But then there are the primary ones you saw before, might, dexterity and stuff. So this stuff. So because I have 14 might, I can say only a 4 attacks a week. Blah blah blah, because of all these things. So I'll say only a 4 attacks a week enemy with something like it lives. So that might be what I said last time, actually. Oh god, I thought you'd be in my pie. Same as last time, you attack him, you attack her. You use knockdown on him. Okay. Forgive us. Barely audible. The gods are just. I'm ready. You can feel it begin to seep beneath your skin like a jetty beginning to succumb to the surge. There's a lot of really great writing in here. There is obviously a lot of writing. It's a very deep game, full of writing, but it's all really well done. So it's all very enjoyable to read. Uh-oh. Magic things be happening. With a last burst of energy before your arms give out, you swing yourself up onto the ledge. As he nears the face of the rocks, one of the fallen attackers who had been feigning death lunges for Hayden, and topples him onto the rocky ground. Let's try it. Resting free of the attacker's grip, Hayden lands a blow that sends his sailor reeling, and he makes a mad dash at the ledge. Suddenly, as he reaches for the rock face, his body jerks back and is rigid, as though it were a bow being strung. His shrieks of pain grow panicked and abandoned of all restraint, like someone tethered to a stake of us. Oh my god! Oh my god! There is deep resonance to the wind now. You feel it in the rocks beneath your feet. Nothing good's happening here. Holy shit! Bad shit's going down in this place. I was gonna say this town, but oh no. That's interesting. You probably saw that there was an option that required dexterity, but I didn't have enough. That is actually something I did last time on my main save, and that basically allowed me to throw my weapon at that guy, and set him free or whatever. And then that didn't happen to him, so he didn't die. So I actually had him here, which is that's weird. That's interesting. There's a lot of choices that will greatly affect stuff like that. Trembling, sickly creature emerges from the dark. Oh, these guys really are still. I'll tear you to pieces, lizard! I'm such a dick. Oh shit. Okay, let's go. I should know we are right at the beginning of the game, obviously, so it's a very easy game at this point, obviously. And we're on the lowest difficulty setting just because I'm a wuss, but I will say it gets much harder. Much harder. Can be a very difficult game later on. I originally played it on normal, but even that was too hard for me, so I had to drop it down to easy. But there are a number of like learning curves that I had to kind of get over when it comes to this game, and one of them we'll probably get into later, but it's the fact that you can hire companions from any inn and buy them as permanent companions, and that they cost money, but that will essentially allow you to create a character from scratch, which is just a really nice thing to be able to do. So I was originally roaming around with 2 people, and I was just getting absolutely battered, but that's good that you could hire people. And then I quickly formed like a 6-man party, and holy shit, this game's so much easier when you got a full party. Especially when you got a full party of all different classes. I had 2 healers, I had like a ranger and a wizard, and like, oh, it was so much easier. So, and of course you obviously find plenty of companions along the way that are like story related or whatever. So they are like the set classes, whatever they are, when you come across them, as opposed to the like. Okay, use the torch. We just need to set these on fire. And this will reveal the way. Why would you do that? That was just dumb. I didn't have the patience to do that right. Oh god. Alright, that's probably a good place to stop actually, because I didn't want to get into spoiler territory. Let's load this save. This is where my main one. My main one is like here. You see I'm about just under 9 hours in. Quite a lot deeper in, but this is a much earlier save, so we'll try this one. I want to see whereabouts I was before this, but I'll show off some of the other stuff soon. Because there's quite a lot of really cool stuff going on here that I want to show off. Namely, this whole place, which is basically like your stronghold. This is like part of the story. You come here very early on, so this isn't massive spoiler territory, but this is like your stronghold that you own. And there's kind of this like meta game where you're constantly upgrading and building this place, and you you can gather like income on a daily basis that will from taxes and stuff. You know, if you build up appropriately, adventurers will come and you can hire them into your party as companions, or you can actually. I don't actually have one in the save, but you can hire people to protect your stronghold when you're out from bandits, so they don't attack it. But you can also send them out on quests like Assassin's Creed style, or whatever, where you send them out on missions and quests, and they go out and do that, and then come back at a later date. So that's a really cool kind of minigame, metagame type thing that I had no idea was in this. And you're constantly trying to rebuild this broken down keep, that like abandoned keep or whatever. And there's a ton of different buildings that need restoring, as you'll see. Like, you know, they're all broken down and bad. So we need to basically, what do you call it? We need to repair them all and fix them all, make them usable and stuff. So, and that'll provide all sorts of bonuses. There's an inn, and you can build various buildings so that when you rest in that inn, you're provided with all sorts of bonuses and stuff. You know, there are barracks, so you can recruit, you know, adventurers and stuff. So there's quite a lot to this game. So you see that this is like the world map. This is where we were at the beginning. We've come all the way. We've come quite a decent way. We're quite far off the intro. I think we're about 5 hours in or something at this point. So it seems like a pretty big world. I've discovered all of this at the moment, and I'm like here, my main save or thereabouts. So I haven't been to all this area. So I don't know if this expands. I would imagine there is another map because, well, to be fair, there's all this that's not been explored and up here and stuff. So either way, it seems like a really huge game. So we're gonna go to this place, Defiance Bay, which is the first major city town that you come across, and show off some of the quests and stuff that you can do here. Because again, I don't know how much I want to show because kind of everything that I show is kind of a spoiler in some way. Obviously, I don't want to show too much of the main story because that is spoiler territory. But I personally see a lot of these, what do you call it, side quests and whatever, as spoilers. But hey, you know, if you don't want to get this stuff spoiled for you, you're probably not watching it. So that's one way to deal with it. So if I can remember rightly, I'm just trying to think where there's a quest. I think there's a quest up here. Okay. Normally there was a woman here who had a quest. Oh, maybe I'd done it. Yeah, I just finished that quest in mind. So there's the quest log. As you can see, there's a lot going on quest-wise. I think if there's anything that I can do right now. I know where we can go. I should note also, you can rest in inns, and that will heal you up completely. But also you can pay slightly more. You can get a common room, which is really cheap, and that'll just heal you up. Or you can pay a bit more and get some of these bonuses for a bit. Stat bonuses for. But as you can see, I've got some there. Got +1 resolve, +1 perception. So, but also, I can hire people. So up to level 3. Obviously, it costs more depending on what level they are. So I could let's say I wanted to buy a level 3 adventurer. What that would let me do would, it'll probably make me actually no, we won't do it, but it'll just let me create a class from scratch. So that's nice. It can be any race, any class, any combination of whatever. So it's nice that you get to create that, and it is level 3, but it starts at level 1. You level them up, so you get like 3 levels up, whatever. So you got complete control over what you make. You can even name it. So I'll say that these two and that guy in the end are story related, and these two I made. So I made a hunter with a bear. This little guy, I think he's great. It's one of my favourite party members. Is this little guy, and she's a priest. So he's also a priest. She's a hunter, and he's a I can't remember, they're called chanters or something. They're kind of like bards. They like sing songs that do stuff that have effects or whatever. So there are quite a lot of classes as you saw before when I was making one, but it's very important. It's crucial, in fact, to, I'd say, at least from my experiences, to have a nice combination of like classes and abilities. Like you want some healers, you want a nice combination of melee, range, magic. You know, you want all of that, which I've got in my main save, and I've got a little bit here, but not quite to the same effect. We want to get to Brackenbury. Brackenbury's down here. Okay. It's really nice to have that fast mode on, I'm telling you. Holy shit. Like, it makes exploring so much less painful. Makes it a lot less frustrating to be able to run around with an increased speed or whatever. So, if I remember right, we want to go... Bear with me, I'm just trying to find some quests. If you bear with me, again, there are some quests in this area, I know. So, also you see some of the town and stuff, so not a complete waste. A lot of these towns are quite large, and there's a ton of people that you can talk to, and a lot of these people will give you quests and stuff. So it's worth exploring and talking to as many people as possible. The usual rule of thumb with these kind of games is as I found, is generally that people with names are the ones that give you quests, so talk to anyone with an actual name. So, you know, like these sort of general, generic names probably won't give you a quest, but others might. So, trying to think what is a good quest. I think there might be a quest in this brothel, if I remember. We're in the seedy part of town. This is where all the lowlifes and the creeps hang out, the lurkers. Oh yeah, and then we get this random event. Oh no! Let's help them up. Should I teach the thugs a lesson? You goddamn fool! I thought I'd be looking around. They usually are. Either way, I don't think we got anything for that, but you know, we helped a man out. We did a good deed, so let's just go into this brothel. Because if I remember rightly, there is a quest to be done. Well, that was loud. What trouble are you having on the candidate's bad for business? Blah blah blah. Where's to help? Alright, so basically, she's running the brothel and she's getting harassed by these thugs. So she wants us to go beat up the thugs. So let's go do it, because you know what we love doing? You know what we're really good at doing? We're really good at beating up thugs. So let's do it. And I happen to know that the first pack of thugs are right here, which is why I checked before. So we'll go to combat here. As I've got a lot more party members, it's a lot, just attack them. It's a lot more complicated, there's a lot more things to worry about. This is my main guy, I've got a lot more abilities now, you see. So we'll just get him to attack him. We'll get him, who, he has a 200 weapon, he's pretty strong, we'll put him on him. We'll put our archer on him, we'll put the bear on him as well. This guy's a healer, so we'll get him to hang back. This guy, she's a healer, but she can go on him as well, so. And you know, you want to measure people's health, so we can do some healing spells. Oh wow, he needs to back up. So I need to micromanage these guys and make sure I'm healing. So basically, I should mention before we get into this that there are basically 2 health bars. You see that this like red meter that's kind of filling up is your endurance, and when that depletes in combat, you get knocked out. But the actual green bar next to it is your health. And that is like a permanent, constant thing that if that reaches 0, then you die permanently. So that health is replenished by resting, by staying in an inn or camping, which is done by clicking here. And endurance is a per fight thing. So healing, actually, when you heal someone, it actually heals their endurance. It's kind of confusing at first, but you get used to it. You're healing their endurance, which keeps them alive in that encounter, but for health stuff, you want to make sure that people don't actually die, because if they die with health, they die. So, and that's the last thing you want. So, it generally goes that I let these guys fight, and I just make sure I'm healing with the people that can heal. So, there is all these spells have all sorts of abilities. So don't even worry about it. Don't be intimidated by this stuff, because, like I said, I'm fairly deep in, so I've acquired a lot of spells and stuff. But to be fair, this guy just comes with a lot of spells. So actually, I guess all priests do, because she's a priest as well. So that was me giving them an armor buff. We'll do like a slam on this guy, or that guy, I guess. You see that my guy's actually kind of like he's kind of like a knight. He's got a sword and a spear at this one point in time, but my other priest is kind of like a cleric in that she can actually be quite handy in combat. Oh god, that guy's getting bad. We can actually heal with that. But the other guy is just kind of he's really weak in combat, so I generally keep him out. Need to be careful. I don't want that guy to die. Yeah, he's probably gonna die, or he's gonna pass out, I should say. Yeah, he had 2 aggro. It's important to manage that sort of stuff. You don't really want too many people to have too much aggro. You don't want one person to have too much aggro, I should say. Okay. We'll be alright though. We'll manage. We'll survive this encounter probably. Okay. Oh my god, the bear died. Whew, Jesus. So you can see that, it gets pretty tricky pretty quick. I'm not that deep in, and that fight was kind of a struggle. I know I'm probably not the greatest Pillars of Eternity player, and there are probably people watching this thinking, oh, why didn't he do this, why didn't he do that, but, I'm not, I've never said I was amazing at these games, so. But I get by, So it can be a pretty difficult game, which I know a lot of people seem quite excited at the prospect of, but I should mention there are 4 difficulty options. There are easy, normal, hard, and then Path of the Damned, which apparently that actually tweaks the actual stats of enemies, which apparently the other modes don't or whatever, but I'm too scared to even begin to try that stuff, so. Oh, okay. Alright, yeah, I forgot that. So we picked up a key from that guy, and it'll take us to a house, so I know which house it is, so much good to that. I'll probably run through this quest line, and maybe a couple of others, and then maybe a few others anyway. I do want to show off. So it's this house we need to go to, so you can kind of click on the map and move your camera there, which is nice. Let me see what these guys are doing, but, again, I do wish there was some kind of, like, fast travel between these locations. It's kind of tedious to watch this stuff, but there's another quest starting, so just can't skip through that. That's another quest, we might get to that in a bit, but for now, let's kill some thugs. Like we just were. Actually, we don't end up. Actually, no, let's kill him, because last time I didn't kill him. So. Okay. So last time I actually supported them, and then we were reasonable, and we got it sorted. So they were mad that the brothel prices were too much or something. So we sorted stuff out. But you know what? This save doesn't feel very. Doesn't feel like negotiating. So okay, cast another armor spell. This fight shouldn't be so much of a problem. Mind you, I probably said that about the last one, so. This guy might die. It's not too much of a problem if this guy doesn't die, because, you know, this is my secondary save or whatever, but we don't really want him to die. He's really low health as well, so he might actually die, so we'll just move him over here. No one else seems to have much of a problem. She wasn't even attacking. Okay. We get there? Okay, nice. I go there. Probably get that guy in. His aggro is you probably won't get much aggro, so. Okay, we'll get there. This guy should probably just back off. Cast more armor buffs. Gosh, she's tough, Jesus. Get on the action now. That bear's getting a beating. He's a pretty strong bear. That's the saddest thing that could possibly happen right now. Whew, Jesus. Sweet. Well, that's one way to do that. That kind of goes back to what I was saying before about the replay value. Like, that's a completely different way that I did that quest. So, the way I did it was last time was a lot more convoluted. It involved a lot more talking, a lot more discussing. It made that quest twice as long, but if I'm right, we should be able to just go back to the brothel, turn it in, and have that quest be done with. So that's an interesting way to do it. That quest might even be done. No, we need to report back anyway. I was going to say that quest might be done, but not quite. Again, you know, running back and forth, kind of tedious, but, you know, it's not the end of the world. Especially with fast mode. Honestly, I think if this game didn't have that fast mode, then it would be extremely frustrating. It would just be so tedious to have to run. Because you do a lot, especially in these cities, you do a lot of back and forth stuff, so. That's these worth celebrating. Alright, sweet. So kind of an example of a fairly basic quest there. We're gonna go do another one. Seeing as this one we triggered the event, I should say, for this one. So. And this is a pretty interesting one, I think. So you'll find that generally, like, the main story's alright, it seems interesting. There's nothing wrong with it by any stretch of measures so far, but personally I found that a lot of these short stories, a lot of these side quests and stuff are a lot more interesting. There's a lot of variation in the quests and what happens and stuff, and what you do as well. Alright, so basically, he wants us to do a delivery to Gareth in Copperland. So that'll also let us rest at the inn, so we'll do that. Okay, so Copperland's up here. Well, actually, that'll just let us do the go to the world map. So. It's important to rest because if you don't, you get like fatigue debuffs and stuff. So you obviously don't want that. So very important to keep resting a lot. I generally find myself resting after every couple of fights, you know. And obviously, if you're ever in a town or city with an inn, then you should just rest immediately. So yeah, we'll do it. We'll have a nap at the noose. The noose. Jesus, the goose and fox. The inns are like dead cheap, and the buffs are always nice. So no reason not to, really. There's a lot of loading screens, and some of them can be kind of long. I mean, it kind of depends on your computer, I guess, but it's not that they're long. It's just that they're really frequent, especially in these towns. Like, I don't know, you're constantly going in and out of rooms and in and out of buildings and stuff, and we'll get that one. And it can be a bit annoying to have to watch, to have to keep looking at the loading screen, but I don't know. Just a minor gripe. Yes, the delivery, keep voice down. Did I just do something illegal? Oh my god. What do they have to do with it? Tell me it was in the pouch. Are we done? Dun dun dun! A woman walks in, her polished boots thwacking the floor with slow, deliberate steps. A crooked sneer warps her smooth face. Guys, I'm hurt. You promised nothing to buy from me. What's a girl to think? Please, my lady, I was just explaining that I don't do business with anyone else. Except this one last time, right? He's been doing dodgy deals. We'll let them fight between them. She wants us to go take care of Vazana, who was the fucker that gave us this quest. The deceiving, backstabbing Vazana, the infamous Vazana. So, you know what we're going to do? We're obviously going to go kick that guy's head in. Because that's what we do. We're professional kick headers. Head kickers, I should say. We can be kick headers if you want. So yeah, even more back and forth. I don't know. It's not the end of the world, but for some of these quests it can be a little bit annoying. And I should also mention that, you know, it's not all just city environments. You get a lot of outdoor environments. So there's definitely a lot of variation in the kind of environments that you go to. So it's definitely not all city stuff by any stretch of the imagination. It's such a deep game that I'm trying to make sure that I don't miss anything. Content-wise, it's worth talking about. We talked about the UI and the combat and stuff, and a lot of the quest stuff, the main story. Should also mention that I think the art in this game is phenomenal. I think it all looks fantastic. It's all like, you know, sprites on like a 3D on a 2D. Oh wow, Jesus. Okay, it doesn't look great up front, up close. I mean, don't zoom in. Jesus, I never realised how bad some of this stuff looks up close. Yeah, you can see it's all just like sprites on a 2D background or whatever, but it looks really nice for zoomed out. I'll say there's a lot of really great art, a lot of really great character art at any rate. But okay, so he was over here. Vazana, what are you doing? You trying to fuck me over? You better explain why you sent me into a trap, buddy. This guy. Or woman, actually. Is this your last name? She's not happy. As if there were any ever in your hands. Let's not interrupt. Let's just be diplomatic. Falls to his knees and grasps his hands together. Have mercy of Peligna. Jesus. So she's not really happy with him. So, you know, you're gonna pay me, mate. I don't care what you do. You're just gonna pay me. So she's done. She's out. She's like, yo, fuck it, man. I'm out. These guys are back, and they're not particularly happy. So we don't really care. So we're just gonna leave them to slaughter that guy. So sorry, buddy. You shouldn't have backstabbed. Well, you didn't really backstab us, but you shouldn't have fucked us over. How about that? So there's another quest. There's a pretty short one, but it's worth showing. Anything else worth mentioning? We can level up. We got a fixed bit to do that, so we'll just quickly level up. God, look at this guy. He's cool, isn't he? What a cool guy. You got your basic secondary stats, so we'll just throw a bunch here. They all do all sorts of stuff. A lot of these will come up in conversation as well, especially like lore and you know, survival stuff. And you get one ability, so we'll just get... It's not really important because I'm not going to be able to really... I'm not going to carry on with this save, but we'll just get that, do more damage, do times 1 damage when you have 50% endurance or less, and we'll level up. So I think you kind of get the idea here. It's an extremely deep game, extremely complex, extremely long by the looks of it, or by the sounds of it at least, from what I've heard, but I have been thoroughly enjoying it. There was a 3-hour period at the beginning where I was kind of grappling with a lot of this stuff, a lot of the mechanics, where I wasn't particularly enjoying it. It was kind of frustrating. I didn't really get the combat. That was actually kind of before I discovered that you could just go to an inn and hire a bunch of people. So I was roaming the world with like 2 people, and I was constantly getting into quests that I couldn't. They were too high level or whatever that I just couldn't do, and I was constantly, I'd find a quest that was too hard, I'd find another one that was too hard, so it was just kind of a bit frustrating, a bit tedious. But then I kind of got a grasp on stuff and hired a bunch of people, and then it became instantly a lot more enjoyable. So really, really great game by the looks of it. Like I said, about 10 hours in, I'm going to keep playing. Seems like there's a lot more to play. Been really, really enjoying it. The combat, it may look quite simple, but it's very deep. There's a lot to it, a lot of strategy and tactics to it. The RPG stuff is excellent. Obviously, the character development is fantastic. The story stuff is really well done. The writing is fantastic. The art is beautiful. It's a fantastic game, and for the price, which I think it's about £30, like $45 ish, it's definitely worth it. If you're into those old D&D CRPG stuff, Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, Planetscape Torment, whatever, I can go on listing them, but if you're into any of that shit, then this is right up your alley. To be fair, if you played those games, you probably already got this. So, but I will also say quickly before we end, if this is something you haven't played and you're interested in it, do your research, I'll say. Read up on it. Make sure you know what you're getting in for, I'd say. But it's not impenetrable. It's very complicated, but there's a very, very enjoyable game to play if you can get into it, I will say. So, yeah, if you're new to this stuff, give it a shot, I'll say, but only have to do research, because you don't want to buy it and then realise that you sunk 30 quid, $45, whatever, into this game and you're never going to play it because it's too crazy mental for PC mentalists. So, but that's all for me, I guess, for now. I've been streaming a lot of this on our Double Thrill Twitch, which is twitch.tv double_thrill, or /double_thrill. So I've been streaming a lot of this over the past week. Probably going to continue to do it. That is over on the Double Thrill Twitch, which is twitch.tv /double_thrill. So check that out. I'll keep you guys posted on that. That'll be updated on the Twitter and stuff. So if you're interested in seeing me play more of this, I will definitely do so, because I actually just got off like a 4-hour stream of this game earlier. This game comes out on the 26th. This is actually released on the 26th of March on a Thursday. I think it unlocks at like 6 PM or something, but this video will probably go in and around that time anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. But that's Pillars of Eternity. Seems like a really fantastic game, if you can get into it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.